Shemai everyone, how are you all? Well, it's only been 2 weeks since my last floss tube, so I am getting better. Let me just check the date. It is September the 6th, Saturday, September the 6th. And I thought I'd drop in because I have been quite busy with all my cross stitch. And yeah, I thought I'd sort of share some of my success with you. The biggest success is that I'm going to try to remember to look at the camera rather than my television, because I cast my camera onto my television so I can see in the background that I'm in shot. But my proper big success is that I have finally finished, let's try and get it all in, the Mystical Greenhouse Sal by Tiny Modernist. I was only about 3 months behind. As I said before, I'm not going to do the bit on the bottom. I just wanted it as a greenhouse. So I have given it an iron. I need to give it a wash because there's a few stains on there. Now, I used to wash my cross stitch all the time, obviously, when I used to do it before, but I think I've forgotten to do it really. So I think I'll just use a little tiny bit of washing powder in warm water. But I am thrilled. I love, love, love my Welsh Dragon. So I can finally share a finish. It's not a fully finish. I don't think I've actually fully finished. Yeah, I actually know that's a big fat lie. I fully finished one thing. I did think that I'd struggle to get much sort of stitching done this week because I am back to work. My new little nursery children start on Monday. Some of them, I've got 26 new nursery starters, so I've got nursery reception. So that should be busy. I think that's the best way to put it. It'll be busy. I'll spend probably a lot of my time in the toilet when they first start, just to get them used to everything. But my reception children cannot wait. They can't wait, as they say, when are our new babies coming. So they are really excited. The funniest thing is that yesterday, my boss and I were sat looking at Christmas dates. And I think that's the thing in schools. The term flies by because you're always planning for the next event. So I am going to plan a Christmas craft fair because it was a big success last year. I've also started to plan a craft group for our parents, a free craft group for our parents. We are looking at projects this year to help our parents who might be struggling with mental health, sometimes loneliness. They might be going through things, so we wanted to sort of create like a little network of friends for them. So one Friday morning a month, I'm going to do like a little craft workshop. Everything, as I say, will be provided for them. They come along, cup of tea, biscuits, and learn something new. So I've got my thinking cap on there. So I have had, how many, I'm looking now, three new starts, I think, since I saw you last. Yeah, I'm sure it's, well, it's either 2 or 3. So the first one is, I've started, that was a very little start here. I've started the Holiday House by Satsuma Street, their Sal. I've decided you can never have too many Sals in your life. And I'm sort of sticking by that. I'm doing it on, I don't know whether the camera's picking it up. It's quite a wild day outside today, even though it's quite sunny. The wind is howling out there. So, and the light is sort of dipping. So this is like a blue fabric, but with white swirly bits on. There we are. I think that's the technical term. I've also learned how to make some grime guards because after seeing how grubby Mystical Greenhouse became, I thought, right, I need to sort of prevent that. So, made some grime guards. This is a polar bear one. And the other thing I made on the weekend, which I have been desperately determined to make, is what's it called? Project Keeper. So it's the first time I've ever done any sort of, and this isn't difficult to quote and there's only squares. It's the first time I've done anything like that. However, the binding is shocking, so don't look too closely at that. I've been watching some YouTube videos on how to improve that. I've got fabric that I wanted to make one out of, but I thought, do not mess up your favourite fabric So I've used some other lovely fabric, but it isn't my best fabric, if that makes sense. So then it's got the vinyl pocket on the side, and with another little pocket in there that you can keep all your little bits and bobs in. And then I love these little vinyl pockets because I bobbinate my threads, I can actually see the number as well. So instead of having them all spread out on the desk in front of me, which is how I tend to work, or I use this little floss tray that Lee 3D printed for me. So I started it last night. As I say, there are over 100 stitches in it, so I'm pleased with that. The pattern for this Project Keeper, and it actually comes with a video tutorial, is by Tiger Lily. She does some stunning bags. So she was on Etsy, but she's also got a YouTube channel herself. I think it's Tiger Lily Designs. She talks you through it so well, but it's just, yeah, my binding. I'm desperate to try another one though and see if I can put some of my new learned titchy witchy ones, binding skills, but it's good enough for me. I'm quite happy with it, and I just love to see all the colours out in front of me. So there's Satsuma Street, first Satsuma Street design I've ever done, because I have fancied them a lot before. I bought the funky chickens from Needlework Market? Oh gosh, what's it? Do you know my brain today? Needle Market or whatever it's called, last year. No, March. So the other one I've started, and I realised I had the name wrong for this. This is also in his own bag. So a Halloween one. And he's got just little pink stars inside. Oh, Halloween. And there's a terrarium, not a terranium as I was calling it the last time. And I started this last Sunday because I went to a stitch day with Luby Lou's Retreats, and we went to Pendoilen, which is between like Cardiff and Bridgend. Let me put my glasses on now just to check I've got the right way around. Yes. So there it is. And I'm just doing it on this grey fabric that I found in my stash. And I learned that my machine has got, well, my machine probably does lots of things, I'm just not very good at using it, has got an overcast stitch, which I sort of did the edges with there. Once again, I realised I forgot my board. I'm just going to have a little look to see how much of that I've done so far. And it is on 6%, so I've done 524 out of, I think it was about 6,000 stitches. But that's a really, really sweet one to do. I love these little pumpkins, so cute. Now the other one that I am delighted with my progress on, I think I told you last time that I have been taking part in the Tea Goddess Sal, which is actually run by Ellie of Stitch and Bee. She is on Instagram. Could be with all my social media platforms getting all confused. She started just a sal or anyone who wanted to join in. So if you would like to join in, you've just got a message to a Stitch and Bee, and she's Ellie on Instagram. And I'm going quite well on this. There she is, and she is rather gorgeous. I just love the colours. Let's see if I put the bag behind her, whether that will help. And the fabric I'm using is, I think, is a lakeside fabric, and it's quite a mottled sort of a tea colour one, I think. And some of the girls have been really brave and dyed their own fabric. I don't know whether it says a colour. No, oh, Skylark. It does say a colour. And because I do like things to be a bit matchy-matchy, I've got a bit of a thing about Russian dolls. So I had made a Russian doll bag ages ago, but I've also made her own little floss pouch and a little grime guard, because I can't use any detergent to wash it. And seeing as I was such a grubby grubster on the last one, I thought I'd better try and protect it a little bit. So there's that one. However, I have been utterly pants at keeping up with the Spooky Night Sal by Tiny Modernist. I've only got to that. I've started, there's going to be box here. I need to pull my finger out on that because I am just falling behind drastically. It'll have finished before I even got halfway through, I expect, but it'll still be waiting for me. I've also not done any further work on Lola Crow, Extraordinary Birds, and the last feature came out on Friday. Some people they baffle me because they must stitch so fast, because I woke up on the Saturday morning to loads and loads of finishes of it, which is just mind-blowing. So let me just check my notes. I've got to make myself a list because I forget everything. Yeah. Oh, right. So I started Tea Goddess the 26th of August. Holiday Terrarium 31st of August. And my Satsuma Street I started yesterday. That's quite an easy one to remember. So on to some plans now. Now, I was determined I wasn't going to kit up anything else. And that was a lie, actually, because I saw these designs and I saw these on Adelaide Stitches because Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery are bringing out a Halloween sale, which is Halloween snow globes. And then I realised that not last year, I think it was 2022, they did Christmas snow globes. And obviously it needed its own snow globe bag. I bought this lovely snow globe fabric from Turtle Bay Textiles. She's a local girl, so I'm hoping... Well, I booked a bag workshop with her for the 16th of November, so I'm going there for that. But I'm hoping to pop down and see the shop as well. So, there they are. I have never ever stitched on perforated paper before, so that will be an experience. And again, it had its own little floss pouch. Now, I've always been the sort... There we are, there's some beautiful colours in it. I've always been the sort that if it says DMC, I need all the threads to be on DMC. Then it gets a bit expensive because if I think it's going to be a quick project, then I use it from my master set. If I think they might be languishing for a little bit, then I buy the threads for that project, which means I'm forever at the moment buying threads. So I thought I've got a full set of Anchor from when I used to cross stitch before. So any threads I haven't got in my excess for DMC, then I'm converting to Anchor and I'm doing a mix and match, because I don't think even I will notice that I'm not going to say, hang on a cotton pick a minute, that should have been an Anchor or DMC thread and I've used Anchor. No one's going to know. So I'm feeling virtuous now because I'm starting to use some of my stash rather than hoard it. So that's my cross stitching. There's my cross stitch plans. I haven't made a start yet on the Tiny Modernist Ho Ho Holiday, and the first motif is out, which is a little Christmas tree, so I'm hoping to get that done this weekend. But I have been doing some other sewing. Sewing has taken over my life at the moment. I bought stunning pink Halloween fabric, and it's got a little, I love the jazzy zip as well. And it's got grey stars inside. From Frumble Fabrics, which is a UK company. So I've been on a bit of a project bag making spree. So I love that one. So I've made that one. I've then done, because instead of just putting the fabric back, I've got a huge bundle, the other side of the camera. I've got a huge pile of fabrics that needs to be put away. I'm thinking, why don't I just use up the piece of fabric? And I am going to set up, I don't know if it's a coffee shop or a coffee shop, to sell some of my project bags, because I'll be overrun with them soon. So it's got the nice spot inside. This one has actually been ordered by my friend Teresa. She loves penguins and she wanted one for a Christmas project. And then inside there are green snowflakes. So I've made quite a few project bags. And then, because I'm trying, as I say, I'm on a bit of a use it all up, I made some other little handy bags there. These are just using like scraps of fabric I've had left over from project bags. There they are. I love this fabric. I've got this in like a purple and a cream, I think. And this one has got spots. I did a big project bag with a vinyl front, which I actually sold last week. So I made those. This one as well, because I made a big project bag in this. And this has actually got little tiny wonder clips that I use a lot when I'm sewing. So I thought I'd sort of keep all those in one place. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of sewing. Paper crafting has just sort of come to a halt at the moment. I am going to a scrapbook retreat it's the weekend of the 10th of October, so I'm hoping then to get a little bit of mojo back for that. I've also got cards I need to make, because I like to keep a box of cards for all occasions. I need to top that back up. So let's go on to my haul. Now, I have been buying some patterns off Etsy, Project Keeper ones, needle cases, that sort of thing. But this was the rest of the fabric from, so it was this, and then the bag I showed you earlier, these ones, all the pinks and the purples. And I think there was 9 fat quarters, which I thought was a really good value from Frumble Fabrics. I had these ones with them as well. The little witch's hat, trick or treaters, and then this one there, which is a bit retro, I think. I like that one. I never ever thought I'd be making project bags using Halloween fabric, because I don't really celebrate Halloween as such. Obviously we do a disco in school and all the rest of it. And then I sort of fell in love with Halloween projects. And I think, again, that is Teresa's fault, my friend Teresa, because she does encourage me. Now, my other friend Karen also encourages me, especially when we're at the NEC shopping and she's saying, oh, I think you need that. She's the sort of person you need in your life, actually, because she will encourage you to buy anything. I've just realised my camera isn't quite straight because my Kallax unit is on the wonk. I promise you my floors are straight, so obviously it's just the way I've set my camera up. I also bought, as I say, fabric. It's fabric. These are from the Quilt Shop. So I bought that one with the bats. I bought this one. I've got orders for a bag for this one. And I bought more spiders and webs. As I say, the only time you can really use spiders is Halloween, I think. I wouldn't typically make a bag using spiders. I'm not frightened of spiders, but the other night when one was so heavy it woke me up running across my bare shoulder. They're not the favourite things I'd keep around the house either. And I also bought some lovely fabric from Sophie at Turtle Bay Textiles. I had this lovely pumpkin one here. And I think the stars and the pumpkin's teeth glow in the dark. This one is a glow-in-the-dark fabric as well. And the one night must have been stitching in bed, woke up in the middle of the night and thought, what's that over there? And it was my fabric. This one then, I'm just trying to think, I've done this. I think I've got the purple one in this. Let me check. No, it's not purple, I lied. It is the black one. This is for Caterpillar Cross Stitch Ghostly Gathering, which I haven't put a stitch in yet. I love this one. Then I bought some. I did actually need some just some solid colours, because I make lovely linings. And this, I love this, because as a child my mother used to sew a lot of our clothes. My mother was superb on a sewing machine. And she used to spend hours looking through patterns in shops. Used to have them in huge drawers. I don't know if they still do them like that. So simplicity. So that's what I would like to use to make another project keeper out of. But I didn't want to cut into this in case I made a huge mess of it. So there's my haul. The other thing the other thing that's happened this week. I had said to Lee, my husband, about, he said, what's the longest thing about doing the bags? And I said, cutting it all out and measuring it. Because sometimes you buy even a fat quarter and there's not a straight edge to it. So my husband is a problem solver. He loves to make things and he loves to have a jig. In his work, he works with sheet metal. He actually works for a company that makes things for army tanks. So if they're making something, they produce a jig, so then they know that everything is going to be exactly the same. So he came away and he said, right, tell me the measurements you need. And in his garage, he's a bit like me with fabric, but his is bits of wood and things like that. He keeps anything and everything just in case. And this time he's actually used them. So he has created me out of, this is backing board off kitchen cabinets. And because of the way we had done something, we had a load left over. They have all got backs on in case you're worrying that everything falls out the back. But I don't know how we've left over with things anyway. So he's created me a set of templates for all the different bags I make. And I was happy with that. But then he said, the thing is, Nick, he said, you've got to try to stop it moving. So his next thing, so there we are. Look, I put on what is for. That's the zip panel on the 2 bags I make. He then 3D printed these little attachments here and a handle. So when I go to use them then, I slide my handle on, press down, take it off, and then use my next part. And the reason he did it like this was because otherwise they're going to be quite tricky to store. I've got a little unusable gap between my kitchen cabinets in my craft room and the wall. And they fit in there now. And then my little handle. So fair play, he's a good egg. And he was delighted to have a mention when I was watching Ellie at Stitch and Bee. He was delighted to be mentioned because she said about my craft room tour and my craft desk which she designed. And he was like, oh, famous. So thank you so much, Ellie. So that brings me on nicely actually to FLOSSTUBES I've been watching. These glasses, honestly. So I have watched Adelaide Stitches. Adelaide is doing Space September and she's picked out a range of different projects. So a little boy wanted something spacey. She had done mermaid. That's it, mermaid. So everything in May was about mermaids. And her little boy said, well, I think you should do Space September, which she's gone with. So I've been watching Adelaide. Then I've been watching, as I say, Ellie, Stitch and Bee. That's the lovely girl who is hosting the Tea Goddess Sal. She did a beautiful piece for her co-worker, which she's framed, which I absolutely loved. And then she's also doing a swan, which was so delicate, but I think she said that it hasn't been the best to stitch on, but is going to look gorgeous when it's done. I've also been watching Lindsay from Stitch and Magic, and she's having a magic month of stitching for her birthday month, which is September. And I've just ordered one of her gorgeous needle minders, which are all hand painted. I've ordered the toadstool ones. I love toadstools. I'm thinking then, because I'm doing Halloween and Christmas, which I think are magical times, that's my sort of joining in with her there. Jen's Stitchy Corner, and I was watching Jen, and I know Lindsay's taken part as well, which has convinced me to download the Owl Forest Embroidery Yellow Brick Road pattern, because obviously I haven't got enough to stitch, and it looks lovely, and they're all sort of joining together as a sal. So I'm thinking, I've downloaded the pattern, I haven't pulled any floss, and I haven't looked at fabric, but I love the picture, and it's a free pattern. I've also been watching Unfinished Stitches, looking at their fall WIP projects and what they've been working on. Jordan the Tattooed Stitcher and Helen D from, I think she's East Coast Crafter or East Coast Stitcher. And I was really interested to see how her and actually Adelaide, how they kitted up projects. So I watched those floss tubes. So my plans for the month, just to summarise, are to carry on with all this stitching. I need to catch up with Ho Ho Holiday and to start my snow globes, because to see what it's like to work on perforated paper, to be honest, and to actually stop hoarding fabric and to cut into it and make things with it. I would like to make some more ground guards. I've also promised to make my friend a little thread catcher. Here's one I've done already, full of waste to show it's being used, and all my pins on it. So I'm going to make one of those as well. I've actually got the weekend, apart from doing my ironing tomorrow, I've got the weekend free from housework, because when I came home from work yesterday, I did some schoolwork and then I blitzed the house. And Lee, in fairness, Lee helped as well. So the house is clean. All the majority of the chores, apart from the ironing. I've even been on a bike ride this morning and walked the dog. Then I had to have a little 10-minute lie down to get ready for my floss tube. So I'm hoping to be back in, probably won't be a fortnight, because that is when I'm hosting my first ever retreat. As I say, that's a very posh word for us all the girls getting together and crafting. We've got 2 days of crafting. We started half 8 till half 8. I should probably finalise this. It's either half 8 till half 8 or 9 till 9 on the Saturday, and then we meet again on the Sunday. So the nice thing is then, I'm hoping to get lots of stitching done. I might do a bit of paper crafting, who knows, because I do need to make some more cards up. And to be honest, it's calling my name. When I look at these lovely colours, I'm thinking, oh, I wonder what I could make with that. But then fabrics and sewing seems to be calling my name just a little bit louder. So thank you, as I say, to Ellie for the shout out. That was so lovely. And you are stitching some absolutely beautiful pieces. And I shall see you all very soon. I'm sorry about the light has gone sort of a bit winky wonky on us, because it's, as I say, it started out quite bright and then the clouds have sort of gathered. It's as though somebody, as soon as August the 31st is over, it's like somebody flicked a switch and it's gone straight to autumn. And we have had some torrential rain this week. And in Wales, I know we're quite used to rain, but even this shocked us slightly, so it was, as you can see how bad it was. So take care, everybody. I shall see you very soon. Hwyl fawr ffrindiau. Enjoy your stitching.